No one saw this coming. Sam Merrill has been the standout player in the early season for the Cleveland Cavaliers. In fact, he's played so well that the head coach had some pretty high praise for him. We'll break down all of that right here on the latest episode of Cavs Digest. What's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Thanks so much for joining me on our latest edition of the show. I'm your host for today, Darayus Sethna. Before we get into all things Sam Merrill, want to just remind you to like this video and subscribe to the Cavs Digest YouTube channel, because if you look at these numbers, this means over 2/3 of you, 67%, little over that, who watch these videos aren't actually subscribed to the channel. So that's not a good thing. And if you want to keep up to date with the latest in Cavs news and content, along with Matt and myself, make sure you like these videos and, more importantly, subscribe to that YouTube channel, because it's going to help you out, keep you up to speed, and it's going to help us out with the ratings on our end and all that good stuff. So, like I said, Sam Merrill, topic of discussion for the Cavs today. And, throughout the summer, throughout the offseason, both Matt and I have really discussed how the Cavs needed some guys to step up. Even before the injuries to Darius and Max Garland, we were highlighting some key younger players, maybe some unproven veterans who really needed to use this season in a wine and gold uniform to their advantage. And, with Sam Merrill earning a contract extension, about 3-4 years, $38 million in the offseason, shows that the Cavs trusted him to be one of those foundational pieces for this up-and-coming squad. And, really, when you think of him, he is at the top of the list of players who needed to step up for the Cavs this season. I mean, I cannot continue to tell you how, or express how important he's been for this team throughout these first few games. Kenny Atkinson had some great stuff to say about him. I'm going to get to that in a second here, but first, I want to go over Sam Merrill's stat line in these first 3-4 games of the season so far. So first game against the Knicks last week, 19 points, 5 of 10 from 3, and again, Merrill is starting in these games for the Cavs. 22 points, 6 3-pointers last Friday in Brooklyn in another win, their first win of the season against the Nets. Sunday, first home game of the season against the Milwaukee Bucks, 17 points, 5 of 11 from three-point range. And then yesterday, kind of cooled off from the shooting standpoint, 3 of 6 from 3, 11 points, but more importantly, 2 steals. And I emphasize the 2 steals so much because it truly shows you that Sam Merrill isn't just in to be that spot shooter and just play on offense. He's really made an impact defensively as well. He is trying to prove to not only himself but his teammates and the coaching staff that he is an all-around basketball player. And when I look at this quote that Kenny Atkinson gave over the weekend after the win against Milwaukee, this is the quote that really said it all. The guy has probably been our best player over the first 3 games. This was before the blowout win in Detroit last night. Just to clarify, just quite simply on both ends, he looks great. And that's why I bring up those 2 steals against Detroit last night, because once again, just shows you that Sam Merrill truly has taken pride in more than just his shooting ability. And that's something that he even talked about with the media as well this past weekend. I'm just glad that Kenny Atkinson sees that I'm not just making shots, but trying to make winning plays and defend at a high level. And those are the type of players that you need if you want to get over that playoff hump that the Cavs have experienced over these last few years, and go get over that hump and really compete for an NBA championship. You can't have guys, yes, you have to have guys who specialize in certain things, and Sam Merrill is obviously someone who specializes in shooting, but if he can be someone who takes pride on the defensive end of the floor, which he's clearly shown in the early portion of this season, get others involved. Man, that just once again is another level that this Cavs team can get to really compete for that Larry O'Brien trophy. So 2 great quotes there from both Atkinson and Merrill that really just re-emphasize the importance of Merrill's presence on this team and the impact he's had in that starting lineup for the early start of the regular season. Kind of diving deeper into Merrill a little bit more here. it's going to be interesting to see how this continues to play out, right? Because if Merrill, for example, has a cold night and he's starting the game, how is that going to impact him moving forward? Can he still make those defensive plays? Can he still make shots when they matter most? I'm interested to see that as these starts for Merrill continue to compile on here. How does he perform? Is he still consistent? Are there drop-offs? What's that going to look like? And then more importantly, I'm interested to see how this works out once Darius Garland and Max Strus come back and reassert themselves into the starting lineup. But to me, the good news in this scenario, when this ultimately does happen, is with someone like Sam Merrill's game, his defense is obviously, it's all effort-based, and then he's really a spot shooter. So why I think this is critical is because Merrill's game can be just as effective coming off the bench than it is what he's doing right now as a starter. And we've seen, obviously, in the last couple of years, he's been here with the Cavs coming off the bench, can knock down shots. So what makes Sam Merrill special is not only is he giving you effort, but his game can translate. You can honestly put him on any team in the NBA, and he'd fit in just fine because he's a spot shooter. He plays defense just like Max Strus. Very similar games. Their primary strength on offense is shooting the basketball, but they have that dog mentality, right? That mentality that they're gonna get up on you on defense. They're gonna draw offensive fouls. They're gonna make those extra effort plays that those superstar championship-driven teams need to have. So ultimately, it's so far so good for Sam Merrill, right? It's been very exciting to see what some of these young players on the Cavs are doing. The question is, can they keep this up? Cavs right now sitting at 3-1 on the young season, 3-game winning streak after the opening night loss at the Garden to the Knicks last Wednesday. Big test for the Cavs tomorrow night in Boston. Boston, kind of a slow start to the year. They did pick up their first win of the season last night, a dominant performance in New Orleans against the Pelicans. So you can never count the Celtics out, especially with a healthy Jaylen Brown, Peyton Pritchard, Derek White, all those guys. So it'll be an interesting test, another early season test for this Cavaliers team, this kind of hampered Cavaliers team with some of the injuries, but so far, so good, and that's especially the case with Sam Merrill. Before I go, just want to send you that quick reminder, make sure you like and subscribe, like these videos, subscribe to our Cavs Digest YouTube channel. Cannot wait to cover some more Cavs games, see what the team can do as they get some more games under their belt, and what Matt makes as well. Guys, the season is finally back. Fall is here, and I'm excited to continue the season and talking about it with you guys. I'll see you next time for another episode of Cavs Digest. Take care, everybody, and thanks for watching.